Who's up next in the Golden Chair? Join hosts Amy Noobsome and Christina Vidovich as we interview the speakers of Washington, D.C. 2026. Women Getting Visible, the global leader in visibility conferences for women, where amazing women get in the room to get visible. I am thrilled to be here today, Getting Visible. I'm Christina Vidovich, the visibility strategist of Women Getting Visible, along with
Amy Noops, and I'm the growth strategist. So we are so excited to have Heather join us today.
Yay.
Amazing.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you. Oh, applause. I love that. That's awesome.
We're just getting you ready for the stage, Heather. So, yes. Oh my gosh, Heather, you are such an amazing woman. You know, as I've gotten to know you over the last couple of years and learn about the things that you do, the way that you teach women out there, leaders out there to come and show up in the room. Wow. What is it? What is that driving force that says Heather's going to get up today and she's going to make a change in the world? What is your driving force?
I think it's now that I have a fairly simple, it's not easy, but a fairly simple way to approach what we say yes to and what we say no to, and just how we show up. It is, I want as many people to hear it and be able to start impacting their lives, even in what sound like small ways. And every time I talk to somebody and they say, oh, I'm just so busy, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm close to burnout, it breaks my heart, because a lot of it, we're in more control than we think we are. Mm-hmm. We're in more control of our time than we've been led to believe we are. And even just a one-on-one conversation where I can say to somebody, you know what, you didn't actually have to say yes to that thing. And they stop and they look at me and they go, you're right. Why did I say yes? Why did I choose to do that thing for somebody else? And the most glorifying part is when they say to me, you know what? I'm going to say no. I'm going to back out of that thing, or I haven't given my decision yet, so I'm going to say no, and I'm going to take that time and that energy and I'm going to use it for myself. That's fabulous. So, yeah.
And that's what I love about what you bring to the table is the idea is time is a business asset, you know, and we think about time as this concept that we don't really put into perspective and how we implement it into our own business. So I love that you're bringing that to the table of like being very consciously aware of the
Mm-hmm.
time you spend.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you've noticed by shifting that idea of like, this is my time, how am I going to apply it? How has it made a difference in your business, in your life?
In twofold. One, I have more time to actually sell to my clients. I'm available more of my day to make money, because there's a difference between the work and the business. Mm-hmm. So I'm a professional speaker. So the work I get paid for is anywhere from 15 minutes to a couple hours standing in front of an audience. That's my work. You know, that's what I get paid for. So that's the work. But the running of the business, that's the other, 50 hours of the week in order to make money standing there for an hour, right? So the more efficient I am with my time, the more of my time I can sell, right? So, and the more, the less overwhelmed I am, the more in control I feel, so that when I do stand in front of an audience, I am calm and I am completely focused on what I'm there to talk about. I'm not thinking about the business and all of that other stuff.
Yeah, and I love that, because it's so important to be able to set those boundaries for ourselves, mm-hmm. right? Because you said that magic word that makes people just get uptight is that word burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how close, because everyone has felt it at some point in time in their lives. Yeah. And it always, and at some time, there's the word again, the time. And it really comes back to time.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it's the one asset that doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much money you don't have. We get the same 24 hours. And that's it.
It's definitely an equalizer.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love that with your talk, you talk about how to take that pause, that moment, the idea of like the yeses, the nos, the pauses, I love about what you bring to the table is the empowerment that you give people to be able to say those things to people. Like, is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a pause? Do I need time? Do I need time to think this through? Because a lot of times we forget that's actually a permission we give ourselves as well.
Well, and things are going so much faster and faster and faster in these days that the thing that is losing out is just taking a breath. Just even, and it doesn't even have to be, because I know so many people are like, the idea of saying no, that just, okay. So let's put that off for a minute. Maybe in between the ask and the answer is just let me actually ask some questions to find out what it is I'm being asked to do. That's gone by the wayside as well. We're going, straight into somebody said, can you? And our response was, yes, I'd love to. And you walk away going, I don't actually know what that means. I don't, like, what does success look like? What resources do I have? When do I need it done by? Those questions now just are compounding you trying to get the work done because you didn't ask those questions.
Oh, I love this. I love this. This is where that expectations comes in. And how many times, like, I've had these beautiful conversations of, like, when somebody's feeling frustrated, they're feeling disappointment, like, well, did you know what it was going to be? And did your expectation align with what it was? One thing I liken it to is, like, if you went to someone's house for dinner and you're like, they didn't serve chicken. Well, did you ask them if they were serving chicken?
Did they say they were serving chicken?
Yes. So the same kind of concept, back to what you were saying, is like, here's the job. And you said yes, but there wasn't chicken in that job.
Right.
And I love that your solution, Heather, is to ask questions, right?
Period. I am a huge proponent, and you can say this a couple different ways. I'm a huge proponent of transparency. Yeah. Like, let me understand clearly with no hidden secrets what it is you want me to do. And let me tell you what I can do. Maybe I can only do a small piece of it. Maybe I have no skill set for what you're wanting and it's not going to turn out great, but let's be transparent. That is going to then lead to making the invisible work visible. Because a lot of what we do, especially as entrepreneurs, is invisible work. It just happens. But if we can start making that visible to ourselves and to other people, then it starts, we start knowing what kind of time it's going to take to do that work, and we can start making better decisions.
Yeah, I appreciate this so much. And one of the things too is I love your speaking style. I've always been intrigued by it because you're much more direct than a lot of people are comfortable with. So have you always found yourself as someone who is more direct to get those answers that you need?
Yes, and it hasn't always served me well because you can be too direct. And I've done that, and I've absolutely done that. So while I still get what I need, I've learned to do it more in a conversational tone, not an interrogation type interview, because those feel different, right? So, yeah.
Well, I love that. That's the thing too, is that you're telling women out there that this is a skill set you can learn if that's something you're interested in. Like, how can you soften your message? How can you ask more curious questions? Like there's an art to that communication and asking and making sure your ideas and the expectations are being met. Because I'm sure, I know, at least I have, I've definitely failed on a deliverable where I thought I knew and understood the project. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't it.
Yeah. I thought it was glorious and genius. And they thought, no, it wasn't chicken. Back to Christina's comment, we wanted chicken. You went, they didn't say, shame on them. You didn't ask, shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
And this invisible sort of expectations are hanging out there, and you're hoping to get them right. And that's not a repeatable formula for success.
Yep. And even to the point of terminology, to the point of where you were talking about earlier, you know, how things have changed and evolved and faster.
Mm-hmm.
I have to always verify terminology. And the simplest one was design. What does the design mean to you? Because an instructional designer uses design in a different way than a graphic designer will use.
Oh, two completely different worlds. Yes.
Yeah. So you have to define the words you're using so that you're on the same page. When I say design, I mean it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, why are we doing this? I'm like, it's important. Because terms are different in different industries.
And I liken it unto a treasure hunt. Like if I ask you some questions and your answers align with mine, that's fabulous and that's amazing. And yay on us. I'm really looking for that one moment where they don't align. And either I can get you to adjust because maybe your expectations as a client are not quite correct. If you don't know that industry well, right? Maybe let me educate you, or I can adjust my expectations to what you think you're paying for. And yep, okay, great. So it's very much a treasure hunt of, I'm okay if we're on point 5 out of the 6 spaces. I'm really looking for that last one, that one where we're just slightly not. Yeah.
Yep. And that makes a big difference in your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that will bring a huge element of time back into your world when you know you've asked those questions in the beginning and documented those and realize that one point where you don't align, how are you going to align? So that way you can move through that conversation. And if you don't, pause, think about it, ask questions again.
Yep.
I love that.
Wow. So another question in that time, because we are always pressuring ourselves to the next thing. The next thing is like, I just did this, and you're speaking to them, you're doing a workshop with them, and they're going, what do I need to do right now? How do I can do this? And how long is it going to take me? So in someone who's coming to listen to you, Heather, what time do they need to be putting in to have that transformation, to be working on the talk that you're giving them and embody that?
And I think one of the nicest things is it can be done in little moments throughout the day. This isn't like a 30-minute solid core workout where you're like, nope, I gotta drive there, I gotta get dressed, I gotta do the thing. This is literally one of those things. It's gonna happen in your day. People are gonna ask you to do things. Clients are gonna come to you and say, can you? There's gonna be a task that's gonna show up that you as the business owner have to do, right? That's gonna happen regardless. So it's really just creating a new habit, which is, and that takes weeks and months and so forth. But it's really just every time something comes up, reminding yourself to stop and to think about it. Even if it's 4 or 5 seconds of just, yep, I can do that. That's something I've done before, go forward. So it's setting a habit, which yes, does take some repetition and some time, but the actual activity of not doing anything for a couple moments is super, super quick.
So practicing your pause, in other words.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we love having Heather early in our conference. So in case those opportunities show up, you can practice it throughout the entire conference, because there's always going to be something, an email that might pop up in the middle of the conference or something like that might show up. And to be able to practice what Heather is going to bring on the stage and show us what to do about those moments.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be able to say, you know what, I have my out of office on. They already know I'm not available, so I don't need to deal with this email just yet.
And how many times we need to remind ourselves too that we don't need to check those emails when we're in that space.
Yeah. Put your phone on vibrate, put it in your bag, and just let it be.
I have to say, it was one of the best things I ever did early on in my career, about probably 10 years ago, was no emails after a certain amount of time. Like, I did not check it after like 7 p.m. It just couldn't, because once it was there, it was in my mind and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so it was just easier to be like, nope, there's my cutoff, there's my time, and tomorrow morning I will go back and check it. It just really helped me. Otherwise, I was looking at it just before bed, and then I'm like, okay, now I can't sleep. Like, it just ruined my night.
Well, and you're basically setting a boundary for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm available to work until 7 o'clock, and not again until 8 a.m. the next morning. And setting boundaries for yourself then makes it easier to set boundaries with other people, which is really what all of this comes down to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this. So Heather, you were with us at the inaugural Women Getting Visible last October of 2025 in Washington, D.C. And this is now our third conference in the year. And I'm so excited to have you as a speaker.
Thank you.
Someone who hasn't been to this event yet, what do you want to share with them that you got out of this event and one of the reasons that you want to be with us and speak with us this year?
There was a lovely, so I go as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I go to certain events to be reinvigorated. Mm-hmm. And to remind myself, yes, I can do this. Yes, this is worth doing. Yes, this is where I want to put my focus. And it absolutely did that. Seeing, so many other successful women in the room in so many different, types of business and walks of life, and just coming together in a community. I learned a new word the other day, 2 words, phrase, social impact. Mm-hmm. Is this idea that we come together, not necessarily to, I'm going to buy something from you, you're going to buy something from me type of networking, but just really that we're having shared experiences and we can support each other in those shared experiences. And I feel like there was so much of that happening in the room with the great speakers and all of the different things that we did during that event. It was fabulous. I think it was during that event when I said, "Ooh, if you're looking for people, I'll do next year's." And you went, "We are." And yeah, I think that's how that happened.
Oh, fantastic. And I love the way that you just explained it, because from our side, Amy and I on the back end of like wanting to create this experience for you as the audience, mm-hmm. that as a speaker coming in, how impactful that is for the audience to come in and go, wow, not only am I just listening to this talk, I'm going to be able to share it with the other women in the room in this lived social, space. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And it's done intentionally. We plan our schedules and the speakers specifically to have bigger impacts as it moves on and different opportunities. That's why Heather's earlier in the day, so you can kind of actively think about it. And as you engage, you get to have those moments. So that's one of the things we loved hearing, that it's, as an audience member, had a big impact on you. So you wanted to come and do more with us.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yes, thank you. Oh, I love that. And that's where we're like, hey, if you're not one of our speakers, we get lots of requests, but come and join us in the room, see what we're all about, get to know us. We want to know who you are. And just like Heather is now going to be one of our very first speakers of the day, she showed up and we love that.
Yes. And we're here to celebrate Heather for Washington, D.C., October 9th through 12th, 2026, to be on the stage. Oh, and Heather, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your experience and what you'll be sharing on the stage with us this October in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much. And for our listeners and viewers out there, go to womengettingvisible.com and join us in the room. I'm Christina.
And I'm Amy.
And we will see you next time. Oh.
Who's up next in the Golden Chair? Join us for Washington, D.C. 2026 and find out.
Women Getting Visible! Women Getting Visible!
Voice, value, and visibility. Get in the room with Women Getting Visible. Could your community be next? Partner with Women Getting Visible to create extraordinary opportunities for women in your community.